Roger, I want to take you back. Your first visit to the track was in 1951. Your father took you there. You were 14. 70 years later, you're standing there saying, "Start your engines." You went to your first race was the 35th Indianapolis 500. This was the 105th, as you told the crowd. And back when you were 14, Lee Wallard's Roadster rolled into the winner's circle. What do you remember about that day?
Well, I remember, Jason, my dad had gotten some tickets from someone that he worked with. So he and I drove from Cleveland to Indianapolis. And I remember we were invited to someone's house for lunch and got there late, and everybody had already gone to the track. But we went in, and there was a show car, if you can believe it, back, 70 years ago or whatever the number was, in the backyard. I remember sat in it and got my picture taken, and maybe that was the injection I needed about racing. But we then went over to the track. Our seats were off of turn 4, not great seats, but to see the race and just for something gripped me at that point and said, boy, this is something that I want to be involved in long term. I'm sure I don't remember that, but I'm sure that's what it was, because I was at every single race following that 1951 until we had the split, with Championship Auto Racing Team and USAC, I guess you would call it at that particular time. And I never would have believed, and no one else would have believed, that I'd stand, on the winner circle and be able to have gentlemen or drivers start your engines in 2021. I mean, but that's America. That's us as individuals living in a society that gives you the chance to perform in your business, build a family, not only your own personal family, but the family of companies. And today we have some 65,000 people. And it was a business that once I got racing was, no one tells you how to go fast. No one gives you a setup. You got to make it happen. And that's exactly what I've tried to do, in my life, not only personally, but, from a business perspective.
You had long discussions with Tony George, who approached you about the sale of the Speedway. How did that conversation come about?
Well, I was at the Brickyard in August, and up in the pagoda watching the Brickyard, and I saw Tony and his wife. In fact, said, "Roger, I want to get together with you and talk to you about the future." And Tony's always thinking about maybe what else we could do as a franchise, meeting IndyCar. And I said, "Yeah, I'd love to get together with you." And we dropped it. And I went on and watched the NASCAR race. And then fast forward to September, we were in Laguna Seca on the grid, for the last race for the championship. And he came up to me again. And he said, "Look, I'd love to get together and talk to you about the future." I said, "Well, look, let's get together in Indy." And I said, "Depending on what happens in the race, or if we win the championship, I'll be there, in a week. I'll get together with you." And we won the championship. I connected with him on Monday and said, "Look, I'll see you on the day that we had the dinner." And basically, he and Mark Miles met with me, and Tony took me through quite a dialogue of the family, the trustees, and looking at how to really monetize their investments for the future of the grandchildren, et cetera. And I said, "Well, I'd be very interested." So I said I didn't want to get into an auction. I understood the inside of the track, but didn't know the outside. And quite honestly, I think within a week, we had signed an NDA, and I met with Mark Miles and one of his key financial people here in Detroit. And we started the process. And within a month, we announced that, we had a definitive agreement to buy the track. It was fast, but on the other hand, we kept it very confidential, because what I didn't want to do is get this thing into an auction. And therefore, the confidentiality was absolutely something that we had to have. And the good news is it really came out as a surprise. Not that the surprise was important, but more the fact is we were going through the diligence. We didn't need to have disruption.
And what a pivotal moment for the George, the Holman legacy that has existed at Indianapolis forever, for them to decide to do that. Why was it important for you?
Well, number one, I guess I'm born with a car in my garage. I worked on cars. I'm a car dealer. I was a racer. But more important, the experience that we had buying the Michigan Speedway, having Nazareth, building California, owning the track in North Carolina at Rockingham, partners with the France family in Homestead, all of these things, when you look at it, we had the experience. And we certainly had a team within the company that understood, what owning a racetrack was all about. And when you think about the most iconic track in the world, and you had the opportunity to buy it, it wasn't so much about the price. It was more about emotion, saying, hey, this is a great opportunity. And I'd love to have this for my family for the next 75 years. And we talked about it internally within the family. We all agreed, let's go for it. And it was it.